Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. So in this video, we're going to be talking about where our current. So I'm going to be continuing to talk about our limiting beliefs and how to handle those, and we're going to talk about where our current limits are. So we never really think about it. We never really put in a lot of attention on what is it exactly that our limits are. So I'm going to give a few examples to explain this, and hopefully this will help clarify it. Um, and there are some things that are going to be very vulnerable here. Okay, um, one of the examples is that I've mentioned this a few times before. I've had diabetes for about 17 years, and the last 8 years I've not taken meds, and my numbers just kept going higher and higher. And over the last few years, I've tried some diet and exercise regime. I've always been like pretty much. It feels like I'm always either wanting to try and then building my willpower, and then or I'm trying. And when I'm trying some diet thing, a lot of it involves intermittent fasting or fasting or something, and it's very intense. It's very difficult for me to be able to do it and sustain it, but I go for it and I'm like, I am going to do this no matter what, and I'm going to do this. I do it for about 3 to 6 weeks. That's my usual thing. I manage to do it for about 3 to 6 weeks, and then I'm like, okay, so what is the limit for me in that situation? What the limit is it takes a long time. It takes that much more than that, pretty much, for my numbers to start coming down, because it is so. I mean, it's been so high, anyways. But because I also break, I will cheat in the middle. I will eat on the weekends, or I will eat something, and because I'm using so much willpower to do this, that it's very difficult to sustain it. And I'm not giving myself validation the way I've learned how to do over the last few days, in this really intense way, that I can do this. Who says I can't? Like, because it's always this thing like, I can never do this. I can never, this is not, I'm not strong enough to do this. I'm not emotionally strong enough. I'm very physically weak and emotionally weak, and I can't do this. So that kind of self talk obviously is going to drain me, right? So I can bring my willpower, like, yes, I will do it, but then it will fall at some point. And then everybody says about discipline, discipline, discipline. I was like, I don't have your discipline. I can't do it. I know they'll give me examples. This person did this, and they used to take their food everywhere they would go, and you should have that discipline, and they'll just talk and talk. And I'm like, dude, lay off. I don't have that discipline. I'll be like, this, that's way beyond what you're saying, is just way beyond. I mean, I'm like 10 steps behind, and or 100 steps behind, and you're telling me to jump 100 steps like immediately. So yeah, it would get frustrating for me. Um, what is that limit? For me, that limit was that it was 3 weeks or 6 weeks. Another example, like shooting these videos. I was doing these personal growth videos. I started doing it. I was like gung ho about it, and so I've been doing the Bhagavad Gita videos. Of course, that is fine. That seemed to have come directly as a directive from God. This personal growth videos I was doing on because I wanted to, and I did 54 videos this year. I've done others in a previous channel before, and I started uploading them on a podcast. And I was like, nothing happened in that podcast. Absolutely nothing happened. And so I started getting discouraged. I was like, I don't think I got even a single view on iTunes. And I was like, okay, something is wrong. So then that part of the reason that I stopped was because of that. I was like, I'm not getting, I was getting some views on YouTube, but I was like, yeah, it's not increasing. It's not. So that was my limit. Like that 54 became my limit. Earlier, about 3 years ago, I was again doing this one video a day kind of thing. And I shot, I think, about 40 something videos, and that was my limit. And then I pushed it a little bit more, but that's kind of like my limit. This is like 40 something, 50 something, that's my limit. I'll do that much. If I don't see results, I'll be like, okay, I'm done. So, what is the limit that we set on ourselves? And where is the truth? Like, what does it take to get to whatever we want to get to, right? Um, what if, now I'm going to use these what if is a very powerful statement. What if I kept going? What if I just kept going anyways with my diet and with my videos? What if I kept going and I didn't worry about what is going to happen? I didn't look at numbers. In both cases it's numbers. I didn't look at numbers and make my decision based on the result. It's the same thing with that we were talking about, right? Surrender in the previous videos. Surrender not the action but the results. So you continue to act, but you surrender the results. It does not matter what the result is, you just continue to act. So what if you understand, you look at what are your belief, what are things that you have tried and given up. Let's take very, very concrete examples. Think of something that you've tried and given up, and you're sad that you've given up. You don't want to give up, and you want to bring it back into your life. You want to do it, whatever it is, right? Simple. It doesn't have to be some big complicated thing, or it can be. Either way, you've tried something, and maybe you've tried it multiple times. That's even better. And then see what the limit is, where your limit was. You're like, okay, if I don't manage it in 3 weeks or 6 weeks at the most, then I'm gonna give up. Or if I don't, so you consciously write down all those things and write down where your limits were and decide, okay, I am not going to have my limits at 3 weeks or at 50 some videos or at whatever it is. I am going to have my limit, let's say, at, I don't know, 3 months, or not even 3 months, 1 year, because I've seen a lot of people change their lives around and turn their lives around and reverse things in many months, in a year. I mean, some people faster, but that's another thing that I had. I don't heal fast. My thing is so difficult, and so my case is so bad that I can't heal very quickly, and so I'm going around with that identity. Like, I can't heal. Like, it takes me, I can, but it takes me a long, long time. It takes me a lot of hard work to heal. So what if I changed myself? Okay, I am going to keep trying this for a year. I'm going to give myself a year, not 6 weeks, a year. And I'm going to make it more sustainable for myself, because when I'm always hungry, I feel sometimes I feel like this is the only way. There cannot be any other way for me. So what if I change that and I said, no, that's not true. I'm not going to live like that anymore. I am going to um, uh, assume that I can, I can do it, and I'm going to find sustainable ways, and I'm going to do it for a year. So plan it out like that. This is going to be a slow burn. This is not going to be a fast thing. I know I want it to be fast right now. I want these results right now because I want to start the rest of my life. Because if I don't heal this, then I cannot do anything else in my life, and I'm stuck, and I'm like, all of those stories. Yeah, it's okay. I am going to do this for an entire year, and that's fine. And I'm going to give myself an entire year, and then after a year, hopefully, you'll just keep going, because you'll find really good sustain. Like, for me, I think this is the rest of my life. I'm not even considering a year, because I know the diet that I'm going to be having for the rest of my life now. I found it. So even if you haven't found it, you can say, that's okay. I'm going to keep trying to find it. I'm going to keep trying to find. It's not that I found like perfectly whatever. I'm eating these things called chilas every day, every meal, two meals a day, and sometimes I just get super bored of it. I'm like, I do not want to eat chila today. I'm absolutely certain I do not want to eat chila today. So in that moment, I don't know what to do, right? So then I'll go to ChatGPT, and I'll ask ChatGPT, can you give me low-fat vegetarian recipes? And then no onion, no garlic, and then it'll give me something, and I'm like, cooked food, please. And then I'll anything else, anything else, anything else. That's a pretty good way to do to use ChatGPT, I found. Can you give me 10 more? Once I figured that it understood what I'm saying, then I'll say, can you give me 10 more? And it'll give me something. And then I'll go through that, and I'll find, and I found something. I found recipes, and I tried it. I found, and I got creative. That's another identity I have. I'm not a good cook, and I don't know how to be creative with food. I was able to be creative that time. I was like, I created something, and it was really good, and it was really filling. It was really delicious. It was great. So all of these things that we keep in ourselves, right? I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Sure. But if you just trust, I will figure it out. That is the identity shift. I can figure it out because I have figured it out before, and I will figure it out. Even if it takes me time, I'm not going to have it like, if I don't figure it out today, then it's over. No, I have a year, right? Like, or whatever time frame you set for yourself. I have a long time. So over time, I will figure it out. And right now, if I don't understand something, then I will do the best I can. What can I do that is going to be that is not going to harm me too much at this point, even if I'm not eating
the absolute perfect chilla, which I can't. I mean, nobody can eat just the exact same thing every single day, every single meal for the rest of their lives. But I mean, although I'm changing it, I'm changing the lentils, I'm changing the vegetables, so there's some difference, but still. So then I've decided to create an inventory, and I use this tool called Evernote, and I tag it. Now I've tagged all those meals that are perfect meals, and I tag them as current, because those perfect meal, definition of perfect meal keeps changing. So now I'm tagging it as current. This is my current list of recipes. And I have 5 or 6 already. One of them is the chila, and 2 of them are like chutneys along with it. And then 3 are soups or something else. I mean, I can put salads, but I don't like salads, but whatever. And so with the number for this, I'm like, I'm going to do a year of the videos. I'm going to do 365. I'm not going to give up before 365. I mean, ideally I can just say for the rest of my life, but that seems too overwhelming for me, so I'm just putting a year. So it's okay. So if I'm seeing, like, then I'm taking away this limit that I've subtly put in my head, that I don't know that I have put for myself, and I'm consciously changing that limit from 54, which was the last thing, to 365. So that makes it easier for me. So then next time when I hit this number, then I'm not feeling like, oh, I'm done, right? Because I have been rewiring my brain to say, okay, I'm done after 365. I'm reclaiming that limit, and I'm shifting that limit to something else. So here also, when I'm saying the diet, so when am I going to do it? Then, and put a date on it. Like, just don't just say 1 year, because 1 year doesn't mean anything. Put a date by the end of next year, by the end of May next year, right? And it's just, either way, you just keep going, and you just keep going, and you just keep going. And for me, it's like I've been doing my 9-mile walks every day, and now I can't, because I've been doing it so much. My knees and ankles started hurting. I was like, okay, no, that's not. My foot started hurting. I was like, nope, I need to give a break. So then I need to pivot, and I need to do something else, and I need to maybe start yoga or some other kind of exercises. But that's okay. And that's scary. My goodness, that's so scary for me. But it's like, it's okay. I will figure it out. That's the mindset shift, is that I will figure it out. Okay, so that's all for this video. Wish you a day filled with lots and lots and lots and tons of personal growth, and tons of motivation, and tons of motivation that comes from self-validation and self-soothing, not like external motivation or something that can die very easily, but a mindset shift and an identity shift and a shift from limiting beliefs. Okay, wish you all of that, all of the above. Radhe Radhe.